There is something magical about the moon. Its glow has captured the hearts of people for thousands of years. When you look up at the night sky, the soft light of the moon feels like an old friend, watching over the world in silence. In ancient times, people believed the moon was not just a celestial body but a living goddess, full of power and mystery. The moon's connection to goddesses can be found in cultures across the world. Whether it was in ancient Greece, Egypt, or Japan, the moon was seen as a symbol of femininity, change, and magic. It was the embodiment of cycles. Just as it waxes and wanes, so too do the seasons, life, and even the rhythm of human existence. These goddesses represented everything from fertility and love to protection and the unknown. The moon is tied closely to life's most intimate moments, birth, growth, and the quiet strength that keeps us going in times of hardship. Its phases have guided farmers, hunters, and healers. But more than that, the moon was a source of comfort in the dark. It wasn't just a light, it was a protector. In Greek mythology, Selene was the goddess of the moon. Every night, she drove her silver chariot across the sky, pulling the moon with her. It was said that her beauty was so great that even the stars dimmed in her presence. To the Greeks, the moon's light was Selene's gentle gaze, watching over them. But there was also Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, who carried the moon in her hands. She was fierce and untamed, running through the forests at night, her bow always ready. The moon in these stories wasn't just passive, it was alive, a force that both nurtured and protected. In other parts of the world, the moon held similar importance. The Egyptians worshipped Isis, who was connected to both the moon and the magic of life and death. Isis was a mother figure, a healer who watched over the land and its people. Her connection to the moon was a reminder that even in the darkest times, light would come again. The moon's cycles echoed the promise of renewal. Just as the moon grew dark and then full again, so too would life return after hardship. In China, the moon goddess China was said to live on the moon after drinking an elixir of immortality. Her story is one of longing and love, as she watches the earth from afar, separated from her husband forever. The moon in this tale became a symbol of separation and unfulfilled love. Yet even in her loneliness, China's presence brought peace to those who looked to the night sky. Her glow reminded them that even in sorrow, beauty could be found. The moon is also tied to fertility, a symbol of life cycles that women and men across the world have looked to for guidance. In many ancient cultures, the moon was seen as the Great Mother, watching over the growth of crops and the birth of children. The cycles of the moon were like the cycles of life, birth, growth, death, and rebirth. In this way, the moon wasn't just a distant object in the sky but a force deeply connected to the earth and everything that lived on it. In the Aztec world, the moon goddess Coelzalqui represented both creation and destruction. She was the sister of the sun god, and her story was one of tragedy. She was cast into the sky, her body broken and scattered, becoming the moon. Yet even in her defeat, the moon was a reminder of her strength and the power of the night. Her story tells of the balance between light and dark, a constant struggle that is mirrored in the sky each day. The moon's influence reached far beyond myth and legend. For ancient people, it was a clock, a guide for planting and harvesting, and a sign of when to hold ceremonies and feasts. The moon's phases determined when people would gather to celebrate, pray, or offer sacrifices. The moon marked the passing of time, but it also marked the passage of life itself. From birth to death, the moon was a constant companion, reminding people of the eternal cycles of nature. In Japan, the moon god Tsukuyumi was believed to have a more somber role. Unlike the bright and warm sun goddess Amaterasu, Tsukuyumi was cool and distant. His presence brought the stillness of the night, a time for reflection and quiet. The moonlight, gentle and pale, was a reminder of the things unseen, the world of spirits, dreams, and the unknown. The moon, in this sense, was not just light but the gateway to the mysteries that lay beyond the physical world. The connection between the moon and women has always been strong. The cycles of the moon were believed to mirror the cycles of a woman's body, and lunar goddesses were often seen as protectors of women. Artemis, for example, was not only the goddess of the moon but also of childbirth and young girls. In this way, the moon was seen as a nurturing force, one that oversaw the most delicate and important moments in life. The moon's changing face has always been a source of wonder. From the slender crescent to the full, glowing orb, its phases tell a story of transformation. This is why so many lunar goddesses are linked to change and cycles. The moon teaches that nothing is permanent, that everything grows and fades in its own time. But there is beauty in this change. Just as the moon always returns after the darkest night, so too does life continue after loss and hardship. In these ancient stories, the moon was more than just an object in the sky. It was alive with meaning, filled with the essence of the goddesses who embodied it. It was a source of life, a protector in the night, and a guide through the mysteries of existence. Each culture saw the moon in its own way, yet the thread that connects all these tales is the sense of awe and reverence for this celestial body that touches all of life on Earth. Every night, as the sun dips below the horizon, a gentle figure rises in its place, casting her silvery light across the earth. This is Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon. Her beauty is unmatched, her presence calming, as she steers her luminous chariot through the velvet night sky. Selene is not just a symbol of the moon's light, she is the moon, a goddess who watches over the world in its quietest hours, her glow a promise of peace and serenity in the darkness. Selene's story begins in the ancient myths of Greece, where she is said to be the daughter of the Titans Hyperion and Theia, both powerful deities of light. Born from this union, Selene's role in the cosmos was written in the stars. Her brother Helios was the sun, the bringer of day, while her sister Eos was the goddess of dawn, heralding the morning with her radiant light. Together, these three siblings represented the eternal cycle of day and night, with Selene at the heart of the night's stillness, reigning over the moon's phases. Selene's mythology is woven with the idea of love and longing. One of the most famous tales surrounding her is her love for Endymion, a mortal shepherd whose beauty captivated her. Night after night, Selene would descend from the sky to gaze upon Endymion as he lay in peaceful slumber. Unable to bear the thought of losing him to time, Selene begged Zeus to grant Endymion eternal sleep so that he would never grow old or die. Zeus agreed, and from that day forward, Selene watched over her sleeping lover, forever preserving his beauty while she continued her journey across the night sky. This story of unending love and devotion adds to the aura of mystery that surrounds Selene, portraying her not just as a celestial figure but as a goddess capable of deep and profound emotion. In the eyes of the Greeks, Selene's role went beyond just lighting up the night. She was seen as a protector, her light guiding travelers, sailors, and those who wandered in the darkness. Her presence was a reminder that even in the darkest hours, there was always a light watching over them. In many ways, Selene was a symbol of hope, her glow offering comfort and reassurance to those who feared the unknown that came with nightfall. Her relationship with her brother, Helios, was also significant. While Helios brought the bright, blinding light of the sun, Selene offered a softer, more gentle illumination. Together, they represented the balance of day and night, two halves of the same cosmic cycle. Where Helios was bold and fiery, Selene was quiet and serene, each playing their part in the rhythm of the universe. Helios would end the day with his golden light, only for Selene to follow, wrapping the world in the cool embrace of night. There was a harmony between them, a shared responsibility in maintaining the balance of time itself. Selene's connection to Eos, the dawn, added another layer to her divine role. As the night began to fade and the first hints of morning appeared on the horizon, it was Eos who brought the light of dawn, waking the world from its slumber. Yet, before Eos could begin her work, it was Selene who ensured the smooth transition from night to day. The quiet hours just before the sun rises, when the moon is still visible but fading, is a moment that belongs to both Selene and Eos, a passing of the torch from one sister to another, as they maintained the rhythm of the heavens. In Greek religious practices, Selene held a unique place. She was often honored during the full moon, a time when her light was most powerful. Festivals were held in her name, and offerings were made to ask for her blessings. Women, in particular, looked to Selene as a guide, seeing her connection to the cycles of the moon as a reflection of their own lives. Just as the moon waxed and waned, so too did life follow its own patterns of growth and renewal. Selene's presence was felt in every phase, a reminder that change was natural, and with every dark night, a new phase of light would follow. Her influence extended beyond the personal to the wider world. Farmers and sailors looked to Selene's light to guide them, timing their harvests and voyages according to the moon's phases. Her role was not just symbolic but practical, as her light was essential in planning the rhythm of life. Selene, in her quiet way, held a significant role in the everyday lives of the ancient Greeks. Despite her gentle nature, Selene was a goddess of immense power. Her control over the moon meant that she had dominion over the tides and the rhythms of the earth itself. Her influence touched everything from the cycles of the seasons to the fertility of the land. The moon's pull on the ocean's tides was seen as Selene's way of shaping the earth, a reminder that even in the quietest moments, great power was at work. Selene's myths and stories may not be as filled with dramatic battles or grand conflicts as some other deities, but her power was undeniable. She was the goddess who brought light to the darkest places, a force of quiet strength that shaped the world with her presence. Her love for Endymion, her connection to the cycles of the earth, and her role in the cosmic balance of day and night all paint a picture of a goddess who was as complex and multifaceted as the moon itself. As the moon waxes and wanes, Selene continues her eternal journey across the night sky. Every night, her chariot moves steadily through the heavens, a reminder of the quiet, unchanging presence that watches over us all. In the stillness of the night, when the world is wrapped in shadows and silence, there is a figure who stands watch over both the moon and the wilderness. Artemis, the Greek goddess, is not just a huntress, swift and untamed, but also the embodiment of the moon itself. Her presence is both fierce and gentle, a protector and a guide for women, travelers, and those who find themselves wandering through life's untamed paths. Artemis is a goddess whose spirit pulses with both the wild and the divine. Her connection to the moon runs deep. As she roams the forests and mountains, her silver arrows seem to glisten with the same light as the moon she represents. For the Greeks, Artemis was the bright light that followed the sun, illuminating the night with her steady, watchful glow. The moon, ever-changing in its phases, was seen as a reflection of Artemis herself, free, elusive, but always present. She was the night's protector, watching over the creatures of the wild as they rested, her light offering safety in the midst of nature's untamed heart. Artemis was more than just a lunar goddess. Her power stretched far beyond the light she cast upon the earth. She was also the goddess of the hunt, the wild, and the untamed lands. Armed with her bow and arrows, Artemis would chase the beasts of the forest, her steps so light that even the leaves beneath her feet remained undisturbed. Her hunting was not one of cruelty but of balance. She understood the rhythms of nature, knowing when to take life and when to let it flourish. The wilderness was her domain, a place where she found solace, free from the constraints of the world. Her role as a huntress was not just about the thrill of the chase. It was about protection. Artemis protected the vulnerable, the animals, the forests, and, most importantly, women. She stood as a guardian over all who needed her, especially those who sought refuge from the hardships of life. Young girls would pray to her, mothers would ask for her blessings, and those who were lost or hurt looked to her for strength. Artemis was a symbol of independence, strength, and resilience, a goddess who refused to be bound by anything or anyone. One of the most important aspects of Artemis was her virginity. To her, this was not just about physical purity, it was a symbol of her independence and autonomy. Artemis vowed to remain untouched by any man, a promise she fiercely kept. This vow set her apart from many other goddesses, who were often linked to love and marriage. Artemis, however, chose a different path, one of solitude and freedom. She belonged to no one, and in that, she found her power. Her virginity also tied into her role as a protector of women, especially those who were vulnerable. Women in ancient Greece lived under the constant shadow of expectations, many bound by the roles society had laid upon them. But Artemis represented a different kind of life, one of freedom and self-determination. She was there for women who wanted to stand on their own, for those who wanted to escape the pressures of the world. She was a reminder that there was strength in independence, that women could be powerful, wild, and free, just as she was. Yet, Artemis was not a goddess who simply stood apart from the world. She also had a deep connection to childbirth, an aspect that may seem surprising for a goddess who had vowed to remain a virgin. But to the Greeks, this connection made perfect sense. Artemis was a protector of life, and childbirth was one of the most vulnerable moments in a woman's life. She was called upon by those in labor, her name whispered in prayers for a safe delivery. In this way, Artemis stood by women at their most fragile, offering strength and guidance when they needed it most. Her dual nature, as both a fierce huntress and a gentle protector of women, made Artemis one of the most complex and beloved goddesses in Greek mythology. She did not fit into the traditional roles expected of women, nor did she conform to the usual expectations of a deity. Artemis was wild and free, yet deeply nurturing. She could be as untamed as the forest she roamed, yet as caring as a mother holding her newborn child. Artemis also had a close relationship with the moon itself. The phases of the moon were seen as a reflection of her moods, her shifting presence in the world. When the moon was full, it was as if Artemis was at the height of her power, her light illuminating every corner of the night. But as the moon waned, so too did Artemis retreat, growing quieter and more elusive, waiting for the moment when she would rise again in her full glory. The Greeks honored Artemis with reverence and love. Temples were built in her name, and festivals were held to celebrate her role as both a huntress and protector. She was especially adored by women, who looked to her for strength, independence, and guidance. In Artemis, they saw a goddess who understood them, who lived outside the boundaries of society, yet still held immense power and respect. For many, Artemis was a symbol of what they could be, a force of nature, unbound and unstoppable. Through her connection to the moon, Artemis also represented the cycles of life. Just as the moon waxed and waned, so too did life follow its own patterns of growth, decline, and renewal. Artemis, ever-changing yet always present, was a reminder that nothing in life was permanent, but in those changes, there was beauty and strength. Her light was a constant guide through the darkness, a promise that no matter how dark the night became, the moon would always rise again. Artemis stands as one of the most powerful and complex figures in Greek mythology. She is a goddess of the moon, a huntress, a protector of women, and a symbol of fierce independence. Her light still shines in the night sky, reminding all who look upon it of the wild, untamed spirit that she represents, a goddess who belongs only to herself yet watches over all with compassion and strength. Under the light of the moon, there exists a goddess who embodies the mysteries of the night, magic, and the shadows that linger at the crossroads. Hecate, the ancient goddess of the moon and sorcery, stands at the edges of the known world and the unknown realms, guiding those who find themselves caught between choices, fears, and destinies. Her presence is as elusive as it is powerful, and with every phase of the moon, she moves through her roles as the maiden, the mother, and the crone, each phase a reflection of life's passage and the magic that flows through it. Hecate is no ordinary goddess. She is the goddess of magic, revered and feared, honored at night when the moon is at its brightest or shrouded in darkness. Her connection to the moon is not one of gentleness but of raw, untamed power. The moon's glow does not simply reflect light, it holds the secrets of spells, the whispers of ancient incantations, and the promises of transformation. For Hecate, the moon is her ally, casting a light on the path of those who seek her wisdom in the dead of night. Those who find themselves at a crossroads in life, uncertain of which path to take, would often turn to Hecate, leaving offerings at the intersections of roads, hoping for a glimpse of her guidance. She is a goddess of magic in its purest form, not just the kind that transforms the world, but the magic that lies within the heart, the power to change, to grow, and to embrace the unknown. Under her watchful eye, witches and sorcerers learned the craft, summoning her when they needed courage, protection, or knowledge from the unseen world. Hecate was their patron, standing beside them as they cast spells under the moon's glow, her shadow flickering at the edge of their fires. But Hecate's power extends far beyond magic alone. She is a goddess who holds within herself the cycles of life. In her triple form, maiden, mother, and crone, Hecate reveals the full spectrum of existence. As the maiden, she represents the beginning, the innocence, and the promise of what's to come. This is the phase of youth, where possibilities are endless and the future is yet unwritten. Her connection to the moon in this form is one of new beginnings, where each waxing crescent represents the birth of something new. Then there is Hecate as the mother. Here, she is the nurturer, the protector, the one who carries life within her and watches over it as it grows. In this form, she is the full moon, shining her light on all things, revealing truths that cannot hide in the shadows. The mother aspect of Hecate is one of deep compassion, where she stands beside those who are in need, offering strength and shelter. Yet, even in this role, there is an edge to her. She is fierce, willing to do whatever is necessary to protect what is sacred to her. Finally, Hecate becomes the crone, the wise woman who has seen the passage of time and understands the inevitable end that comes for all things. In this form, she is the waning moon, the light fading as the cycle draws to a close. The crone aspect of Hecate is not to be feared but revered, for she holds the knowledge of the past and the wisdom that comes only through experience. As the crone, Hecate is a guide to those who are nearing the end of their journey, leading them through the darkness to whatever awaits them on the other side. But perhaps Hecate is best known for her role as the goddess of crossroads and the underworld. Crossroads are places of decision, where paths meet and diverge, where choices must be made. In ancient times, these intersections were seen as sacred, mystical places, where the veil between this world and the next was thin. It was at these places that Hecate's presence was strongest, for she was the one who could see all possible outcomes, guiding those who sought her wisdom to the right path, or the one they needed to face. Standing at the crossroads, Hecate was often depicted holding torches, lighting the way for those who found themselves lost. Her torches did not just illuminate the physical path, but also the internal one, showing those who sought her guidance the truth they needed to see. But Hecate's guidance was not always gentle. Sometimes, the path she revealed was difficult, forcing those who sought her help to confront their darkest fears and deepest desires. For Hecate, there was power in facing the unknown, in walking through the darkness, and in finding one's way through the challenges life placed before them. Her connection to the underworld only deepened her association with the unknown and the afterlife. Hecate was one of the few deities who could move freely between the world of the living and the dead. She served as a guide for souls making their way to the underworld, ensuring their passage was safe and that they reached their final destination. In this role, she was both a comfort and a reminder of the inevitable. Death, like the phases of the moon, was just another part of the cycle, a necessary end before the beginning of something new. To those who worshipped her, Hecate was not a goddess to be taken lightly. She was powerful, mysterious, and at times terrifying. Yet, there was comfort in her strength, and the knowledge that no matter how dark the night, Hecate was there, standing at the crossroads with her torches, ready to guide those who called upon her. She was a protector of the vulnerable, a goddess who understood the fears that haunted the hearts of those who wandered in the dark. Hecate's legacy lives on, her name whispered in the shadows of the night, her power felt whenever someone finds themselves standing at a crossroads, unsure of which way to turn. She is the embodiment of magic, mystery, and the moon, a goddess who will forever guard the threshold between the known and the unknown, the light and the dark, the beginning and the end. In the stillness of the Roman night, when the sky is bathed in silver light, there is a sense that something far greater watches over the world below. That glow, so serene and yet so full of power, belongs to Luna, the Roman goddess of the moon. As her radiant face peers down from the heavens, it's easy to feel her presence, timeless and eternal, guiding the rhythm of life with her celestial influence. Luna, unlike many other deities, embodies the very essence of the moon. She is the gentle glow that softens the darkness, the steady pulse that governs the tides, and the silent witness to countless Roman nights. Her light was not merely a reflection of the sun, but a force of its own, steady, patient, and ever-present. Romans looked to her for guidance, for protection, and for a sense of wonder that only the mysteries of the moon could provide. Though she shared the heavens with many gods and goddesses, Luna held a special place in Roman life. To them, the moon was more than just a celestial body, it was a powerful symbol of change, of time, and of the cycles that shaped existence. With every phase, from crescent to full, Luna wove her magic into the world. She was the one who lit the night when all other light had faded, who governed the tides and inspired awe in those who gazed up at her, lost in her beauty and her power. Luna was often compared to Selene, her Greek counterpart. Like Selene, Luna was depicted as a graceful figure, her head crowned with a crescent moon, riding a chariot pulled by silver horses across the night sky. Yet, there was something distinctly Roman about Luna's presence. She was a goddess of the people, woven into the rituals and daily practices of Roman life in a way that felt deeply personal. While Selene was revered in the myths of ancient Greece, Luna's influence in Roman society was tangible, her light a constant reminder of the divine forces that touched every aspect of the natural world. Where Selene embodied the pure essence of the moon, Luna's presence felt more integrated into the rhythm of Roman life. Romans saw her as not just a goddess of the sky, but one who played a direct role in their daily existence. Farmers looked to her phases to guide their planting and harvests, sailors relied on her light and the tides she governed, and women, especially, found comfort in her steady presence, as Luna was believed to govern the cycles of fertility and childbirth. Artemis, too, offers an interesting comparison to Luna. Artemis, the fierce huntress and protector of women, was tied to the moon through her connection to nature and the wilderness. But where Artemis's connection to the moon was one of independence and wildness, Luna's felt more serene, more centered on the quiet beauty of the night. Luna was the softer side of the moon's power, still fierce, but in a way that nurtured and calmed rather than hunted and challenged. Where Artemis roamed the forests, wild and free, Luna sat high in the sky, a gentle and eternal presence, watching over the world. In Roman religion, Luna was not just a distant figure, but an integral part of their spiritual practice. Temples were built in her honor, and rituals were performed to seek her favor. She was invoked during important ceremonies, particularly those involving women, childbirth, and the cycles of life. To the Romans, Luna was a guardian, a symbol of protection, and a reminder of the ever-changing nature of existence. But there was more to Luna than just her connection to fertility and the tides. Her influence stretched into the very fabric of Roman spirituality, touching everything from the calendar to religious festivals. The Romans, meticulous in their observations of the stars and planets, believed that the moon's phases had a profound effect on the human spirit. It was Luna who governed these phases, and with every change in her appearance, Romans saw a reflection of their own lives, their hopes, their fears, and their place in the universe. In some ways, Luna was the heartbeat of Roman religion. Her light was a symbol of continuity, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there was always light to guide the way. She was present during times of change, of growth, and of transformation, offering her steady gaze from above as a symbol of hope and renewal. Her influence could be felt in the turning of the seasons, the rising and falling of the tides, and the very rhythms of life that governed Roman society. Luna's beauty was not just in her glow, but in her constancy. In a world where so much was uncertain, where wars were fought, empires rose and fell, and life was often unpredictable, Luna remained. The moon waxed and waned, but it always returned, just as Luna always returned to the sky. She was a reminder that life, too, was full of cycles, that there was always an ebb and flow, a beginning and an end, and that with each new moon, there was the promise of renewal. Her influence on Roman rituals was profound. Festivals were often held in her honor, particularly during the full moon when her light was at its brightest. These festivals were not just celebrations of the moon but of life itself, of the cycles that Luna governed and the power she held over the natural world. Offerings were made to her, and prayers were spoken in the hope that she would bless the fields, protect the people, and watch over the Roman Empire with her gentle, guiding light. In every phase of the moon, Luna was present. Whether she was a sliver of silver in the sky or a glowing orb illuminating the night, she was a constant presence in the lives of the Roman people. Her light touched everything, from the crops that grew in the fields to the children born under her watchful eye. Luna was more than just a goddess, she was the embodiment of the moon itself, a force of nature that shaped the very world around her. To gaze up at the moon in ancient Rome was to feel the presence of Luna, to be reminded that even in the darkest of times, there was always a light to guide the way. In the vast deserts of Egypt, where the Nile breathes life into the land, one name echoes through the winds and the whispers of time: Isis. To speak her name is to invoke the mysteries of life and death, the powerful rhythms of creation and destruction, and the sacred magic that courses through the universe. Yet, within her many facets, Isis also holds a deep connection to the moon, casting her influence far beyond what is seen by the eyes alone. Isis, the mother goddess, was more than just a symbol of motherhood and healing. She was the force that bound the cycles of life together, embodying the eternal dance between birth, death, and rebirth. But as the moon waxes and wanes, so too did Isis's power ebb and flow, linked intimately with the celestial body that ruled the night sky. In her essence, Isis mirrored the moon's phases, each one representing a different aspect of her strength and influence over the world. When the moon swelled in the night sky, full and radiant, it was as if Isis herself was in her full power. This phase of the moon symbolized life at its peak, fertility, and the nurturing energy that she bestowed upon the earth. As a mother, a healer, and a protector, she was revered by those who sought her blessings for safe childbirth, for protection in the dangerous moments of life, and for the wisdom to understand the natural cycles of existence. Yet, as the moon waned and began to shrink from the heavens, Isis's other roles became more pronounced. The crescent moon, sharp and delicate, was a reminder of her connection to the underworld, to death, and to the mysteries of what lies beyond life. Isis was not just a goddess of life, she was also a goddess of death, of mourning, and of the passage into the afterlife. Her tears, it was said, could bring the dead back to life, just as the moon's light can guide travelers through the darkest nights. It was this duality that made Isis so powerful in Egyptian belief. She was the cycle itself, the eternal return of light and darkness, of life and death. And through her connection to the moon, she held dominion over the rhythms that governed not just the physical world, but the spiritual world as well. The Egyptians saw the moon as a symbol of regeneration, of the promise that after every end, there is a new beginning. And in Isis, they found a goddess who embodied that promise, who offered hope in the face of the unknown. In Egyptian myth, Isis was not only a mother but also a magician, a wielder of divine power that could transcend the boundaries of the mortal world. Her magic was tied to the moon, to the hidden forces that influenced the tides and the stars, the ebb and flow of life itself. Through her spells and incantations, she could heal, protect, and bring forth new life, but she could also call upon the power of the moon to guide the dead through the underworld, ensuring their safe passage to the afterlife. It was through this magical connection that Isis became a central figure in Egyptian moon worship. The moon, after all, was not just a light in the sky, it was a living presence, a reflection of the divine order of the universe. Its phases represented the cycles of time, the flow of life from one generation to the next, and the eternal return of all things. And Isis, with her mastery of both life and death, stood as the mediator between the living and the dead, between the seen and the unseen. Her influence on Egyptian moon worship can be seen in the way the moon was revered as a symbol of both fertility and renewal, as well as a guide for the souls of the dead. The Egyptians believed that the moon had the power to influence the fertility of the land, the rise and fall of the Nile, and the cycle of the seasons. In the same way, Isis's power was seen as essential for the well-being of the people, for the continuation of life, and for the protection of the soul as it journeyed into the afterlife. Isis's magic was often associated with the crescent moon, a symbol of the hidden forces of the universe, of the mysteries that lay just beyond human comprehension. She was the protector of those who sought wisdom in the dark, who reached out for answers in the stillness of the night. Just as the moon could illuminate the path ahead, so too could Isis guide her followers through the challenges and uncertainties of life. But her connection to the moon went deeper still. Isis was also associated with the star Sirius, whose rising in the sky marked the beginning of the annual flooding of the Nile, a time of renewal, of rebirth, and of the promise of life returning to the land. The moon, with its rhythmic phases, was seen as a mirror of this cosmic cycle, and Isis, as the goddess who could control both life and death, was intimately tied to the movements of the heavens. In her role as a goddess of the moon, Isis was both nurturing and fierce, protective and vengeful. She was the mother who brought life into the world, but also the sorceress who could command the forces of death, The moon, with its ever-changing face, reflected her complexity, at once a symbol of hope and a reminder of the inevitable passage of time. For the ancient Egyptians, Isis was not just a goddess to be worshipped, but a presence that touched every aspect of life. Her influence could be felt in the rise and fall of the tides, in the cycles of the seasons, and in the eternal journey of the soul. Through her connection to the moon, Isis offered her followers not just protection in this life, but the promise of renewal and rebirth in the next. Her lunar power was undeniable, and even as the moon waxed and waned, Isis remained a constant force in the hearts of those who looked to her for guidance. Whether she was seen as the gentle mother cradling the newborn or the fierce goddess wielding the magic of the night, Isis embodied the full spectrum of the moon's power, light and dark, life and death, seen and unseen. To worship Isis was to honor the cycles of the moon, the rhythms of the universe, and the eternal dance of creation and destruction that governs all things. In the quiet stillness of a moonlit night, as the silver glow touches the earth, a sense of calmness seems to wash over everything. The moon, with its soft light, has always carried a profound mystery, and in Hindu mythology, this celestial body is not just an object in the sky, it is Chandra, the moon god, a figure who holds sway over time, emotions, and the essence of life itself. His presence feels like a soothing balm, wrapping the world in a blanket of peace and serenity. Chandra's origins in Hindu mythology are deeply rooted in the cycles of time and the rhythms of nature. Known for his beauty, Chandra is often depicted as a luminous deity, his pale radiance capturing the gentle essence of the moon. His name itself means shining or glowing, and his presence in the heavens was thought to have a direct impact on the natural world. It is said that when Chandra rides his chariot across the night sky, pulled by 10 white horses or antelopes, he brings with him not just the light of the moon, but a deep connection to the forces that govern life and time. Chandra is much more than a symbol of the moon. He is also the keeper of time, a deity whose very existence is intertwined with the concept of cycles. Time, in Hindu belief, flows like the phases of the moon, waxing, waning, and renewing itself endlessly. This connection between Chandra and timekeeping runs deep in the traditions of Hindu astrology and spirituality. The moon's phases were used to measure months, and these lunar cycles were woven into the very fabric of Hindu life, marking festivals, rituals, and agricultural practices. Chandra is seen as a god who governs the mind and emotions. Just as the moon influences the tides of the ocean, so too does Chandra influence the tides within the human heart. The waxing and waning of the moon are reflected in the ebb and flow of emotions, the constant movement between joy and sorrow, hope and despair. In Hindu thought, Chandra's power over the mind is profound. The moon, ever-changing and yet constant, reminds us of the transient nature of emotions, teaching that just as the moon's light fades and returns, so too will our feelings shift and change with time. Chandra's connection to time and emotions is also reflected in the impact he has on astrology, known in India as Jyotisha. In Hindu astrology, the moon plays a central role in determining a person's destiny. It is believed that Chandra's position in the sky at the time of a person's birth can influence their personality, emotional state, and even their fate. The moon represents the mind, and its placement in one's birth chart can reveal deep insights into their inner world, their hopes, dreams, and fears. The moon's phases also have an impact on human affairs, with different phases carrying different energies, affecting not only individuals but entire communities. But Chandra is not just a solitary figure in the heavens. His story is intertwined with that of other deities, particularly the goddesses of Hindu mythology. The moon's soft light has always been associated with feminine energy, and Chandra's presence in the sky is often seen as a reflection of the divine feminine. In many ways, Chandra's gentle radiance is a counterpart to the fierce power of the sun god, Surya. Where Surya's light is intense and unyielding, Chandra's is cool, nurturing, and soothing, much like the goddesses he is connected to. One of the most well-known stories involving Chandra is his marriage to the 27 daughters of the powerful god Daksha. These daughters, known as the nakshatras, are the lunar constellations, and each one represents a different phase of the moon. Chandra's love for one of his wives, Rohini, was so strong that he spent more time with her, neglecting his other wives. This imbalance caused strife, and Daksha, angered by Chandra's favoritism, cursed him to lose his brilliance. As a result, Chandra began to fade, his light diminishing with each passing day. Distraught, Chandra sought the help of the god Shiva, who blessed him, allowing him to wax again after waning. This story not only explains the moon's phases, but also speaks to the deeper themes of balance, devotion, and the cyclical nature of life. Chandra's relationship with the goddesses of Hindu mythology doesn't end with the nakshatras. He is also deeply connected to other powerful female deities, such as Parvati, the wife of Shiva, and Durga, the fierce warrior goddess. In many depictions, these goddesses are shown with the crescent moon resting gently on their foreheads, a symbol of their connection to Chandra and the powers of the moon. The crescent moon, or Chandrabindu, represents not only the feminine principle in Hindu thought, but also the merging of time and timelessness, the constant flow of life and the eternal peace that lies beyond it. This connection between Chandra and the divine feminine is also reflected in the way the moon is seen as a protector of women. In Hindu tradition, the phases of the moon are thought to have a direct influence on women's cycles, linking Chandra to fertility, birth, and the nurturing aspects of life. Just as the moon governs the tides, it also governs the cycles of life and creation, making Chandra a vital figure in the understanding of fertility and the rhythms of nature. Chandra's influence is vast, touching not just time and astrology, but the very heart of human existence. His light, soft and gentle, is a reminder of the beauty of change, the inevitability of growth, and the quiet strength that comes from embracing the cycles of life. He may fade, but he always returns, a constant presence in the night sky, guiding, calming, and watching over the world. As the moon continues its eternal path across the sky, Chandra remains a symbol of the mysteries that lie beyond the visible world, a reflection of the inner journey of the soul. His light touches everything, from the tides of the ocean to the hearts of those who gaze up at him in wonder. Chandra, the Shining One, will always hold a place in the heavens, reminding us of the rhythms that bind us all to the cosmos. In the stillness of the night, as shadows stretch across the earth, there is a presence that lingers quietly in the darkness. His name is Tsukuyumi, the Japanese god of the moon, and though the world around him rests, his watchful gaze remains steady. Unlike many moon deities who are often associated with feminine energy, Tsukuyumi stands apart as a rare figure, a male god of the moon. His existence is a mystery, his story filled with sorrow and separation, casting a long shadow that echoes through the ages. Tsukuyumi's role in Japanese mythology is as quiet and understated as the moon itself. He was born from the god Izanagi, who washed his right eye after escaping the underworld, creating Tsukuyumi in the process. Tsukuyumi's presence in the heavens brought balance to the sky, his cold, distant light a stark contrast to the warmth of the sun goddess Amaterasu, his sister. Together, the sun and the moon ruled over day and night, their relationship one of balance and harmony. But this harmony was not to last. One fateful day, Tsukuyumi's actions would shatter the peace that once existed between him and Amaterasu. In a moment of fury, Tsukuyumi killed Yugmachi, the goddess of food, in a way that would forever change his relationship with his sister. The story goes that Amaterasu sent her brother to attend a banquet prepared by Yugmachi, a feast that was meant to be a gesture of goodwill. But when Tsukuyumi arrived and witnessed Yugmachi producing food from her body, a process he found distasteful, his disgust overwhelmed him. In his anger, he took her life, and with that single act, Tsukuyumi sealed his fate. When Amaterasu learned of what Tsukuyumi had done, her grief and anger were too much to bear. She refused to ever look upon her brother again, vowing to distance herself from him for eternity. From that day forward, the sun and the moon would no longer share the sky. Tsukuyumi's actions led to the eternal separation of night and day, his presence now forever relegated to the darkness. This estrangement from Amaterasu cast a long shadow over Tsukuyumi's role in the heavens. His isolation, his wandering through the night, became a powerful symbol of the distance between light and darkness, warmth and coldness, life and death. Tsukuyumi's story is one of regret, of an act that could never be undone, leaving him to roam the night in solitude. His tale is one of the few where the moon god stands in isolation, estranged from the sun, symbolizing the eternal separation of night and day. In Japanese tradition, the symbolism of night and darkness carries a weight that goes beyond mere absence of light. The night, under Tsukuyami's watch, is a time of reflection, quiet, and introspection. Darkness is not something to be feared, but is instead a natural balance to the brightness of day. In the shadows of the night, there is a stillness that allows for deeper contemplation, and Tsukuyami, with his quiet, solemn presence, embodies that sense of calm. Yet, there is also a haunting sadness that lingers in the night. Tsukuyami's story is one of loss, of a bond between siblings torn apart, of a god cast into darkness because of a moment of fury. The night sky, vast and cold, mirrors the loneliness that must fill Tsukuyami's heart as he drifts alone, always apart from the sister he once knew. There is a sense of longing in his isolation, a yearning to be reunited with Amaterasu, though he knows that such a reunion can never come. Tsukuyami's place in Japanese mythology may not be as celebrated as his sister's, but his presence is no less powerful. He is the silent guardian of the night, the one who watches over the world when the sun has set, his pale light offering a gentle glow in the darkness. His story reminds us that even in moments of separation and sorrow, there is a quiet dignity in accepting one's fate and continuing forward, even when the path ahead is shrouded in shadow. In the darkness of the night, as Tsukuyami's light shines softly from above, there is a sense of peace that settles over the world. The night, under his watchful eye, is a time for rest, for reflection, for renewal. Though Tsukuyami walks the night alone, his presence brings comfort to those below, his quiet strength a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is still light to be found. In the stillness of a darkened night, the moon rises, her cold light casting long shadows across the earth. But in the heart of Aztec legend, the moon carries a deeper, more tragic story. Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec goddess of the moon, once stood tall, proud, and powerful. Her name, meaning painted with bells, echoed across the heavens, and she was a force to be reckoned with. Yet, her tale is one of betrayal, loss, and a brutal dismemberment that turned her into a symbol of sacrifice and the eternal cycle of life and death. Quetzalcoatl was the sister of Huitzilopochtli, the fierce god of war and the sun. Her story is not one of peaceful celestial reign but of bloodshed and cosmic upheaval. The legend tells of a bitter conflict that began with the goddess leading her many brothers and sisters in a rebellion against their mother, Coatlicue, the earth goddess. Coatlicue, having become mysteriously pregnant with Huitzilopochtli, was a source of shame and dishonor to Quetzalcoatl and her siblings. They could not bear the thought of their mother bringing another life into the world under such circumstances, and so they conspired to end it before it began. Quetzalcoatl, with her fiery determination, rallied her siblings, the Tsentsonhuitznawas, the stars, to strike down their mother. Her heart swelled with rage and betrayal as they prepared to end Coatlicue's life. But as they neared the mountain of Coatepec where Coatlicue lived, the unborn Huitzilopochtli suddenly sprang from his mother's womb, fully grown and armed for battle. The earth trembled, and the heavens split open as he unleashed his fury upon his siblings. His gaze fixed on Quetzalcoatl, the leader of the rebellion, his sister whom he once loved. With a swift and brutal strike, Huitzilopochtli decapitated Quetzalcoatl, and her body was torn apart, her limbs scattered across the mountain. Her once vibrant and powerful form lay dismembered, her defeat a spectacle of both celestial and mortal proportions. This gruesome act was not merely an expression of familial conflict, but a cosmic event that mirrored the eternal struggle between the forces of light and darkness, life and death. Quetzalcoatl's dismemberment became the origin story of the moon's fragmented light, a haunting reminder of her fall from grace. In the eyes of the Aztecs, the tale of Quetzalcoatl held profound meaning. Her broken body, lying in pieces at the base of Coatepec, was a symbol of the moon itself, shattered, distant, yet still a force in the night sky. The moon, like Quetzalcoatl, was a reminder of the sacrifices necessary for life to continue. Her dismemberment was not just a violent act, but a cosmic offering, one that mirrored the sacrifices made by the Aztecs to ensure the survival of their world. Sacrifice played a central role in Aztec cosmology, and Quetzalcoatl's story was woven into the very fabric of their rituals. The Aztecs believed that the gods required nourishment to maintain the balance of the universe, and the most powerful form of nourishment was blood. Human sacrifice, while horrifying to modern sensibilities, was seen as an offering to sustain the gods and keep the cosmic order intact. Quetzalcoatl's death at the hands of her brother was the ultimate sacrifice, a celestial echo of the very rituals that took place on Earth. Her body, broken and scattered, represented the cycle of life, death, and rebirth that the Aztecs revered. At the Templo Mayor, the great temple in the heart of the Aztec capital, a massive stone relief of Quetzalcoatl lay at the base of the steps. It was there, during ceremonies, that human sacrifices were made, their bodies tossed down the temple steps to land upon the stone, just as Quetzalcoatl's body had been thrown down the mountain. Her image was a constant reminder of the power of sacrifice and the eternal cycles of the universe. The moon goddess, once whole and powerful, had been reduced to a dismembered form, yet her presence lingered, her influence woven into the very rituals that sustained the Aztec people. The moon, under Quetzalcoatl's shadow, took on a new role in Aztec cosmology. It was not just a celestial body, but a symbol of the cosmic battle between light and darkness. As the moon waxed and waned, it mirrored the cycles of life and death that governed the Aztec worldview. The light of the moon, at times bright and full, was a fleeting glimpse of life's beauty, while the dark, empty phases were a reminder of the inevitable end. Quetzalcoatl's story was a reflection of this eternal dance between creation and destruction, her dismemberment a symbol of the sacrifices that kept the world turning. Even in death, Quetzalcoatl's influence lived on, her story passed down through generations, her name whispered in rituals and prayers. Though she had fallen, her presence lingered in the moonlight, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, there is a connection between life and death that binds all things. Her tale, filled with both sorrow and power, reminds us of the fragility of life and the sacrifices that shape our world. The moon, shining down from the heavens, carries with it the memory of Quetzalcoatl's tragic fall, her broken body a symbol of the endless cycle of life and death. As the moon rises over the night sky, casting its silvery glow over the world, the legend of Chang'e whispers through the chill of the autumn air. Chang'e, the Chinese goddess of the moon, is more than just a celestial figure. She is a beacon of love, sacrifice, and enduring beauty. Long ago, in ancient China, there was a time when 10 suns blazed in the sky, scorching the earth with their relentless heat. The people suffered, their crops withering, their lives threatened by the sun's merciless glare. Amidst this chaos, Hou-Yi, a skilled archer and a hero of the people, took it upon himself to save them. With great bravery, Hou-Yi shot down 9 of the suns, leaving only one to warm the world and make life possible. The people rejoiced, and Hou-Yi was hailed as a savior. Grateful for his heroism, the gods granted Hou-Yi an elixir of immortality, a potion that would allow him to live forever. But Hou-Yi, deeply in love with his wife, Chang'e, did not want to live alone for eternity. He chose to keep the elixir safe and hidden, planning to share it with Chang'e at a later time. They lived in happiness and peace, their love as strong as ever. Yet, the tranquility of their life was not to last. Hou-Yi's fame and the power of the elixir attracted many who sought it for themselves. Fearing the elixir would fall into the wrong hands, Hou-Yi hid it in a secret place. But one fateful day, while Hou-Yi was away, a jealous and greedy man broke into their home, determined to seize the elixir. In a desperate act to protect it, Chang'e swallowed the potion. As the elixir took effect, Chang'e began to float upwards, her body glowing with a divine light. Her ascent was swift and magical, taking her beyond the reach of the earthly realm, up into the cold, silent expanse of the moon. From her new home, Chang'e looked down upon the world she had left behind, her heart heavy with the sacrifice she had made. There, on the moon, she became the immortal moon goddess, her beauty and grace forever bound to the night sky. Chang'e's ascent was not without consequence. Her separation from Hou-Yi was heartbreaking. Though she could no longer be with him, her love for him remained as strong as ever. The moon became a symbol of her undying love and sacrifice, a celestial testament to the depth of her feelings. Each month, as the moon waxes and wanes, people gaze up at it, remembering Chang'e's story of love and loss. The Mid-Autumn Festival, celebrated with great joy and reverence, is a time when people honor Chang'e and her sacrifice. families gather to admire the full moon, sharing mooncakes and stories of the moon goddess. Lanterns are lit, casting a warm glow that mirrors the moon's light, and children play beneath the night sky, their laughter mingling with the whispers of ancient legends. During the festival, the moon is more than just a celestial body, it is a bridge between the earthly and divine realms. The round, golden mooncakes represent China's longing for reunion with Hou-Yi, and the act of sharing them symbolizes the hope for family unity and happiness. As the festival unfolds, people look up at the moon, feeling a deep connection with the goddess who watches over them from afar. Her story is a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made for love and the beauty of the moonlit night. In Chinese folklore, China is not just a distant figure but a symbol of enduring romance and the strength of the human spirit. Her tale is woven into the fabric of cultural celebrations, a story passed down through generations. Her presence in the moonlight serves as a comforting reminder that even in separation and sacrifice, love remains a powerful, unbreakable force. The legend of China continues to inspire and touch hearts. Her story is a reflection of the universal themes of love, sacrifice, and the beauty of the moon that shines above us all. As we gaze up at the moon, we remember China, the goddess who sacrificed everything for love and now watches over us from the heavens. In the stillness of the Welsh night, when the moon bathes the world in its gentle glow, the story of Rhiannon unfolds like a whisper through the mist. Rhiannon, the Welsh goddess of the moon and dreams, is a figure of grace and strength, her legend entwined with themes of justice, patience, and motherhood. Rhiannon's presence in Welsh mythology is captivating and profound. She is often seen riding a white horse, a magnificent creature that glistens in the moonlight, symbolizing her connection to the lunar sphere. Her beauty and elegance are matched only by her strength and resilience, making her a powerful figure in the tales of old. In the Mabinogion, a collection of Welsh stories and legends, Rhiannon's story is both enchanting and heart-wrenching. She is the daughter of a powerful king and is known for her extraordinary grace and charm. Her connection to the moon is not just symbolic but deeply woven into her identity. The moonlight seems to dance around her, illuminating her path and reflecting her inner light. One of the most poignant aspects of Rhiannon's tale is her journey through the trials of justice and patience. When she marries Poole, a noble prince, their happiness is marred by a tragic twist. After the birth of their son, Rhiannon is falsely accused of murdering the child, a cruel fate orchestrated by those envious of her grace. Despite her innocence, she endures a harsh punishment, forced to wear a horse's bridle and serve as a humble servant. The depth of Rhiannon's suffering is profound, but it is her patience and unwavering spirit that truly shine through. Even as she endures her punishment with dignity, her heart remains unbroken. Her story is a testament to the power of enduring love and the strength required to face unjust accusations with grace. Her connection to the moon adds a layer of celestial beauty to her tale, as if the night sky itself watches over her, a silent witness to her trials. Rhiannon's myth also highlights her role as a mother, a figure whose love and dedication to her child are central to her story. Her son, Pryderi, is eventually discovered alive, and her joy at his return is a moment of immense emotional relief. The reunion of mother and child is a powerful scene, underscored by the moon's gentle light, symbolizing hope and renewal. Rhiannon's enduring love for her son, despite the suffering she has endured, reflects the deep bond between mother and child, a bond that transcends even the darkest of times. Throughout her myth, Rhiannon embodies the virtues of justice and patience. Her story is not just one of personal suffering but also of eventual vindication and the triumph of truth. The moonlight that accompanies her journey is a reminder of the eternal and unchanging qualities of justice and fairness. It is as if the moon itself is a guardian of her story, ensuring that her virtues are remembered and celebrated. The themes of justice, patience, and motherhood in Rhiannon's myth are timeless and universal. Her tale speaks to the resilience of the human spirit, the enduring power of love, and the hope for eventual redemption. As the moon casts its light over the Welsh landscape, Rhiannon's story continues to resonate, a beautiful reminder of the strength and grace that define her as a goddess of dreams and the night. In the shadowed expanse of the Norse cosmos, where the sky holds its breath and the stars glimmer like distant promises, Mani, the Norse god of the moon, reigns with a serene yet tragic presence. Mani is not just a symbol of the moon but its very soul, guiding its pale light across the night sky. His story, though less known than some of his mighty counterparts, pulses with a haunting beauty and a sense of eternal pursuit. Mani's existence is both ethereal and fragile, a beacon of silvery light moving steadily across the heavens. In Norse mythology, he is personified as the moon itself, illuminating the world with a soft, gentle glow. His journey across the sky is marked by a deep sense of purpose, yet it is also filled with relentless danger and sorrow. Every night, Mani is pursued by the fearsome wolves Skull and Hati. These wolves are not just predators but ancient forces of chaos, representing the darker side of the cosmos. Skull chases the moon, hoping to catch it and devour it, while Hati hunts the sun with the same insatiable hunger. This cosmic chase is a symbol of the perpetual struggle between order and chaos, light and darkness. Mani's relentless flight across the night sky is a dance with these shadows, a constant reminder of the fragility of light in the face of encroaching darkness. The pursuit of Mani by Skull and Hati is not merely a tale of danger but a poignant metaphor for the struggles and fears that define existence. Every night, as the moon rises, there is a silent acknowledgement of the chase that awaits it. Mani's journey is marked by a sense of dread, a recognition that his light is constantly under threat. Yet, his unwavering path through the heavens also embodies hope and perseverance, a testament to the resilience of light even when faced with overwhelming odds. In Norse cosmology, the moon holds a place of significant importance, not just as a celestial body but as a symbol of the cyclical nature of time and fate. The rhythm of the moon's phases reflects the cycles of life and the inevitability of change. Mani's role as the personification of the moon ties him closely to these themes, making his journey across the sky a reflection of the larger cosmic order. As the moon's light flickers and wanes, it also foreshadows the events of Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse. During this cataclysmic event, the sun and the moon will be swallowed by Skull and Hati, plunging the world into darkness and chaos. Mani's story is intertwined with this apocalyptic vision, underscoring the delicate balance between light and dark, and the ever-present threat of cosmic upheaval. His ceaseless flight is a poignant reminder of the beauty and fragility of existence, a dance that will one day come to a dramatic and tragic end. Despite the darkness that looms over his story, there is a profound beauty in Mani's role as the moon god. His journey across the night sky is a silent vigil, a watchful eye that guides and protects even as it is pursued by the forces of chaos. Mani's light, though often fleeting and overshadowed, represents a beacon of hope in the vast, dark expanse of the cosmos. His tale is a reminder of the enduring power of light and the timeless struggle between order and chaos. As the night unfolds and the moon rises, Mani's presence is felt in every shimmering beam of light. His story, though marked by relentless pursuit and cosmic struggle, is also one of profound beauty and resilience. In the quiet moments of the night, when the moonlight dances across the land, the legacy of Mani lives on, a testament to the strength and grace of the moon as it journeys through the endless sky. Under the ancient Mayan sky, where the moon drapes the world in its silvery embrace, Ninchel, the moon goddess, stands as a beacon of life and healing. She is not just a figure in the night sky but a vital force woven into the very fabric of existence, touching every aspect of life with her gentle, guiding presence. Her story is one of profound tenderness and strength, reflecting the deep connections between the moon, nature, and the cycle of life. Ninchel's influence stretches far beyond the mere illumination of the night. As a goddess of fertility, medicine, and the moon, she embodies the nurturing and life-giving aspects of nature. Her role in fertility is especially revered, symbolizing the promise of new beginnings and the continuity of life. Her presence is a comforting reassurance to those who seek the blessings of childbirth, ensuring that every new life enters the world under her watchful gaze. For the Mayans, Ninchel is not just a deity but a guardian of the sacred process of birth, a symbol of the miracle and fragility of life. In addition to her role in fertility, Ninchel is intimately connected to rain and water. To the Mayans, water was a sacred element, essential for life and growth. IXCHL's control over rain reflects her profound link to the natural cycles that sustain the earth. Rain, often seen as a blessing from the gods, nurtures the land, allowing crops to flourish and life to thrive. IXCHL's influence over rain and water is a testament to her power and her importance in maintaining the balance of nature. The Mayan depictions of IXCHL in art and iconography reveal the deep respect and reverence that the people held for her. Often portrayed with a serpent or a rabbit, symbols associated with the moon, she is a powerful figure, her image a reminder of her vital role in the cosmos. The serpent, a symbol of transformation and renewal, underscores her role in life's continuous cycles. The rabbit, linked to the moon's phases, highlights her connection to the celestial body that governs the tides and the rhythms of nature. These images are not just artistic expressions but spiritual symbols that reflect her enduring influence on Mayan culture. The significance of the moon in Mayan culture cannot be overstated. It was not merely a celestial body but a central element in their understanding of time and life. The Mayans closely observed the moon's phases, using its cycles to guide agricultural practices and religious rituals. IXCHL's association with the moon thus connects her deeply with the rhythms of life and the natural world. Her presence in the night sky is a reminder of the intricate connection between the heavens and the earth, between the divine and the mundane. IXCHL's story is not just one of mythology but of a deep, emotional connection to the cycles of nature and life. Her role as a goddess of fertility and medicine, her control over rain and water, and her depiction in Mayan art all reflect the profound reverence with which the Mayans regarded her. In every aspect of life, from the birth of a child to the growth of crops, her influence is felt, her presence a silent yet powerful force guiding and nurturing the world. As the moon rises in the night sky, casting its gentle light over the land, IXCHL's essence is felt in every drop of rain, every new life, and every cycle of nature. Her story is a testament to the beauty and fragility of life, a reminder of the deep connections between the moon, nature, and the divine. In the quiet moments of the night, when the world is bathed in moonlight, IXCHL's legacy lives on, a comforting presence in the endless dance of life and the cosmos. In the quiet stillness of a moonlit night, the triple goddess stands as a timeless symbol of the cycles of life, her presence a whisper of ancient wisdom and divine femininity. The triple goddess, embodying the maiden, mother, and crone, captures the essence of the moon's phases, revealing a profound connection between the celestial and the earthly. The maiden, radiant and full of youthful energy, mirrors the waxing moon's promise of new beginnings and growth. She is a symbol of hope and potential, a beacon of light in the dark, guiding those who seek to start anew. Her energy is vibrant, filled with the excitement of possibilities and the wonder of discovery. In her presence, the world feels fresh and full of promise, just as the waxing moon brings the promise of fullness and completion. The mother, embodying the full moon, represents fertility, abundance, and nurturing. She is the heart of life cycles, the giver of sustenance and care. Her embrace is warm and comforting, like the full moon's light that bathes the world in a gentle glow. The mother is a reminder of the strength and beauty of creation, a celebration of life's nurturing aspects. Her influence is felt in the warmth of the sun and the bounty of the earth, reflecting the fullness and richness of the full moon. The crone, with her wisdom and experience, embodies the waning moon's transition into darkness. She is a figure of reflection and transformation, guiding through the twilight of life's end. Her presence is a soothing balm, a reminder of the cycles of renewal and the wisdom gained through time. The crone is not just an end, but a beginning of a new cycle, her presence a testament to the enduring power of transformation and rebirth. The influence of ancient lunar goddesses on modern practices in Wicca and neo-paganism is profound. These traditions honor the cycles of the moon and the triple goddess, reflecting a deep reverence for the natural rhythms of life. Ancient lunar deities, with their roles in fertility, creation, and transformation, provide a rich tapestry of symbols and stories that continue to inspire and guide modern spiritual practices. In Wicca, the phases of the moon are celebrated with rituals that honor the changing energies of the lunar cycle. Each phase, from the waxing moon's growth to the full moon's abundance and the waning moon's release, holds spiritual significance. Rituals and ceremonies align with these phases, reflecting the rhythms of nature and the cycles of life. This connection to the moon's phases creates a sense of harmony and balance, grounding spiritual practices in the natural world. The moon's phases, and their shifting dance, offer a powerful metaphor for the human experience. They reflect the ebb and flow of life, the moments of growth and decline, and the constant cycles of renewal. Embracing the phases of the moon allows practitioners to align with these natural rhythms, finding meaning and guidance in their spiritual journey. The triple goddess, with her embodiment of the maiden, mother, and crone, serves as a powerful symbol of this journey, a reminder of the sacred cycles that shape our lives. In the gentle light of the moon, the triple goddess whispers her timeless wisdom. Her presence is a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life, the beauty of the cycles of nature, and the enduring power of transformation. Each phase of the moon, each aspect of the goddess, reflects a piece of the greater whole, a testament to the beauty and depth of the natural world. In honoring the triple goddess and the moon's phases, we connect with an ancient tradition that celebrates the rhythms of life and the sacred dance of existence. Under the vast, star-studded sky, the moon has always been more than just a glowing orb. It has been a beacon of guidance, a symbol of change, and a key to understanding the mysteries of time and fate. Ancient cultures, looking up at the moon's serene face, saw a divine influence that shaped their understanding of the universe and their place within it. In ancient astrology, the moon was considered one of the most crucial celestial bodies. Its phases were seen as more than just changes in light. They were believed to influence everything from human emotions to natural events. The moon's waxing and waning were seen as powerful omens and guides. Astrologers in ancient civilizations used the moon's cycles to predict weather patterns, agricultural success, and even personal fortunes. Each phase of the moon, from the new moon's blank slate to the full moon's brilliance, was thought to hold unique energies that could impact daily life and destiny. The moon's significance in astrology was deeply connected to lunar goddesses across different cultures. In ancient Egypt, the moon was linked to the goddess Isis, who was revered as a powerful figure in both life and death. Her connection to the moon was a reflection of her role in guiding and protecting souls. In Greece, Selene and Artemis were moon goddesses whose influences were felt not only in mythology but also in the astrological beliefs of the time. Their cycles were believed to affect everything from fertility to the tides, weaving their divine essence into the fabric of human experience. Similarly, in Hindu astrology, Chandra, the moon god, was central to the zodiac. His movements through the heavens were believed to affect personal characteristics and destinies. The moon's phases were seen as important markers for auspicious times, rituals, and decisions. Chandra's presence was a constant reminder of the moon's influence over both the physical and spiritual realms. Ancient societies used the moon as a clock to understand time. The lunar calendar, based on the moon's cycles, was the primary method for tracking months and seasons. In many cultures, the new moon marked the beginning of a new month, and the full moon was a time for celebration and ritual. The phases of the moon were intertwined with agricultural practices, guiding when to plant and harvest crops. The moon's changing face was a living calendar, reminding people of the passing of time and the cyclical nature of existence. The moon's role in ancient astrology and mythology is a poignant reminder of our ancestors' deep connection to the cosmos. Their careful observations and interpretations of the moon's cycles reflect a profound understanding of the natural world and its impact on human life. The moon was not just a distant, glowing object, but a powerful force that influenced every aspect of existence. In the quiet moments under the moonlight, we can still feel the echoes of those ancient beliefs. The moon continues to be a symbol of change, a guide through the cycles of life, and a reminder of our connection to the universe. Its phases, once used to predict the future and understand fate, still hold a magical allure, whispering of a time when the heavens and earth were closely intertwined. In the shadowed corners of mythology, where light fades and mystery thrives, lunar goddesses of darkness cast their enchanting and often eerie glow. These goddesses, tied to the darker side of the moon, hold secrets that resonate with a profound and haunting beauty. Nyx, the Greek goddess of the night, stands as a potent symbol of the night's embrace. Her presence is felt in the twilight hours when the world transitions from day to night. Nyx is more than just a deity of darkness, she is the embodiment of the night itself. She envelopes the world in her shadowy cloak, bringing both the calm of night and the mysteries it holds. Legends speak of Nyx's ability to control dreams and nightmares, making her a powerful figure who governs the unseen realms that lie beyond daylight. Her connection to the moon is both a reflection and a reinforcement of the duality of light and dark, showcasing how nightfall brings both peace and hidden fears. In Mesopotamian mythology, Ereshkigal reigns as the goddess of the underworld, a realm intimately connected to darkness and death. She governs the land of the dead, where shadows are more than mere absence of light, they are the very essence of the realm she controls. Ereshkigal's domain is a place of mystery and transition, where souls journey after death. Her connection to the moon is less direct but deeply symbolic. The moon's phases mirror the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, much like the underworld she rules. Ereshkigal's story speaks to the inevitability of darkness and the mysteries it holds, as well as the transformation and renewal that follow. These goddesses, among others, illustrate a profound duality in lunar myths. The moon, often seen as a symbol of calm and beauty, also harbors a darker, more enigmatic side. The night, while soothing, is also a time when fears and uncertainties arise. The darkness of the moon's phases represents not just the absence of light, but a space where the unknown thrives and mysteries are born. The stories of Nyx and Ereshkigal remind us that the dark side of the moon is not merely about absence, but about the richness of what lies hidden in shadow. Lunar goddesses of the night teach us that darkness is not just a void, but a realm filled with its own forms of life and energy. It is a place where the past and future meet, where dreams and fears intertwine, and where the unknown holds both potential and peril. These goddesses embody the delicate balance between light and dark, showing that one cannot exist without the other. The allure of these dark lunar figures lies in their ability to navigate the realms of the unknown, to dance between light and shadow, and to reveal the beauty and terror that exists in the darkness. They remind us that the night is not to be feared but embraced as a natural and necessary part of existence. In their stories and symbols, we find a reflection of our own fears and hopes, a mirror to the complexities of our own lives. The moon has always been a powerful symbol of mystery and magic, casting its gentle glow over countless rituals and ceremonies throughout human history. Across cultures, people have looked up to the moon with reverence, celebrating its phases with festivals that connect them to the cycles of nature and the rhythms of their own lives. In ancient Greece, the goddess Selene was honored with festivals that celebrated her influence over the night sky. During these moonlit celebrations, people would offer cakes shaped like the moon and light candles to mimic her soft, radiant glow. They believed that by honoring Selene, they could ensure the safety and fertility of their land. Each full moon became an occasion for gatherings where songs and hymns were sung, calling upon Selene's blessings for a fruitful harvest and prosperity. The Mid-Autumn Festival in China is another beautiful example of lunar worship. This festival, held during the full moon, celebrates the goddess Chang'e, who resides on the moon. Families come together to share mooncakes, which symbolize unity and harmony. Lanterns light up the night sky, casting a warm, golden hue that reflects the moon's serene light. Through these rituals, people express their gratitude for the moon's guiding light and its role in their lives, both in agriculture and in marking the changing seasons. In ancient Egypt, the moon goddess Isis was central to rituals that linked her to fertility and healing. Her worship involved elaborate ceremonies that took place during the full moon. Priests and priestesses would offer fragrant oils, flowers, and sacred bread at her temples. These offerings were meant to honor Isis's power over the cycles of life and to seek her favor in matters of health and fertility. The moon was seen as a divine symbol of her nurturing qualities, and her presence was believed to bless those who sought her aid. The connection between the moon and agriculture is deeply rooted in many cultures. Farmers in ancient civilizations would track the moon's phases to determine the best times for planting and harvesting. The waxing moon was seen as a period of growth and abundance, while the waning moon was a time for rest and reflection. Rituals during these phases often involved prayers and ceremonies to ask for the moon's guidance and protection, ensuring a successful crop cycle and a bountiful harvest. In many cultures, the moon is also closely associated with female rites of passage. Menstruation, childbirth, and menopause have all been connected to the lunar cycle. For many ancient peoples, these stages of a woman's life were seen as sacred, mirroring the phases of the moon. Ceremonies marking these transitions often took place under the moon's light, acknowledging its role in the rhythms of life and honoring the goddess's influence over fertility and birth. The moon's role in these rituals and festivals is more than just symbolic. It is a profound connection to nature's cycles and a way to celebrate and honor the divine forces believed to govern these natural processes. Through these ceremonies, people not only seek blessings and guidance but also reaffirm their bond with the natural world and the rhythms of their own lives. Each festival, offering, and prayer dedicated to the moon goddess carries with it a piece of humanity's shared longing to connect with the divine, to find meaning in the cycles of nature, and to seek comfort in the constant presence of the moon's gentle light. The rituals performed under its silvery glow are a testament to the deep and enduring relationship between people and the moon, highlighting the beauty and significance of this celestial body in our lives. The moon has always captured the human imagination, shimmering as a beacon of mystery and beauty. From ancient sculptures to modern paintings, the image of the moon goddess has left an indelible mark on art and literature, reflecting humanity's deep connection with the celestial body. In ancient art, lunar goddesses often appear as ethereal figures draped in flowing robes, their faces serene and otherworldly. One of the most striking examples is the depiction of Artemis, the Greek goddess of the moon, in classical sculpture. With her bow and quiver, she embodies both the wild, untamed nature of the moon and its calming, guiding light. These sculptures capture not just her physical form but also her divine essence, highlighting her role as a protector and a fierce guardian of the natural world. Similarly, the Egyptian goddess Isis, associated with the moon, is often portrayed in art with a lunar crown and holding symbols of fertility and life. Her image, with its serene grace and nurturing presence, reflects the moon's calming influence on the cycles of life and the natural world. The artistry surrounding Isis is a testament to her revered place in Egyptian culture, symbolizing her power over the forces of nature and the spiritual realm. As time moved forward, the moon's influence extended into other forms of art. In the Renaissance period, the moon goddess became a muse for poets and artists alike. The moon's silvery light, often used as a backdrop in paintings, added a touch of mystique and romance to scenes of love and longing. In literature, the moon goddess often appears as a symbol of unattainable beauty and desire, casting a soft, enchanting glow over stories of passion and heartbreak. Modern art continues to explore the moon's influence with a fresh perspective. In contemporary paintings, the moon goddess is sometimes depicted as a modern, powerful figure, embodying the strength and independence of women today. These artworks reflect the ongoing fascination with the moon and its goddesses, portraying them as symbols of empowerment and resilience in a rapidly changing world. In poetry and music, the moon often serves as a powerful metaphor. Poets have long used the moon to express emotions that range from melancholy to wonder. The moon's phases are seen as a reflection of the human experience, its waxing and waning mirroring the ups and downs of life. Songs and poems about the moon goddess often capture the longing for connection and the search for meaning, drawing on the moon's timeless beauty to evoke deep emotional responses. Literature, too, is rich with references to the moon goddess. In many stories, she appears as a figure of mystery and magic, guiding characters through their trials and tribulations. Her presence in these tales serves as a reminder of the profound influence the moon has on the human psyche and its role in shaping our dreams and aspirations. The symbolism of the moon in these stories adds layers of meaning, connecting the personal struggles of characters to the grand, cosmic cycles of the moon. The moon's symbolism in art and literature often revolves around its dual nature, both serene and powerful. It represents the balance between light and dark, hope and despair. The moon goddess, in her various forms, embodies these contrasts, offering a reflection of the complexity and beauty of the human experience. Her depictions remind us of the deep, emotional connection we have with the moon, and how it continues to inspire and shape our creative expressions. Through centuries of artistic and literary exploration, the moon goddess has remained a symbol of mystery, beauty, and emotional depth. Her influence is seen in the delicate brushstrokes of paintings, the lyrical verses of poems, and the haunting melodies of songs. Each depiction adds to the rich tapestry of her legacy, reflecting humanity's enduring fascination with the moon and its divine, feminine presence. The moon has always held a special place in the hearts of many, casting its gentle glow over the world and influencing the tides and the seasons. For centuries, it has been closely linked with the rhythms and cycles of women's lives, touching on aspects of health, fertility, and emotional well-being. Every month, as the moon waxes and wanes, it mirrors the natural cycle of a woman's body. This synchronicity has inspired countless beliefs and traditions throughout history. In many cultures, the moon's phases are seen as a reflection of the menstrual cycle, symbolizing renewal, growth, and transformation. The full moon, with its brilliant light, is often associated with fertility and abundance, while the new moon, cloaked in darkness, represents a time of rest and rejuvenation. Ancient cultures recognized the deep connection between the moon and femininity. In some traditions, it was believed that the moon's phases had a direct impact on a woman's menstrual cycle, guiding the timing of fertility and conception. This sacred link was celebrated with rituals and ceremonies that honored the moon's role in the cycle of life. Women would gather under the moon's light to celebrate their connection with nature, performing rites of passage and seeking the moon's guidance for health and well-being. Cultural beliefs about the moon's influence on women's health are as diverse as they are profound. In various traditions, the moon is seen as a healer, its light bringing balance and harmony to the body and mind. In ancient Greece, for example, the goddess Artemis was not only a protector of women in childbirth, but also a symbol of the moon's power to nurture and sustain life. Her presence was believed to offer strength and comfort during times of vulnerability and change. Similarly, in Chinese culture, the moon has been associated with yin energy, which embodies qualities of calm, introspection, and receptivity. This connection highlights the moon's role in nurturing and supporting women through their emotional and physical cycles. Traditional Chinese medicine often emphasizes the importance of aligning one's health with the lunar phases, recognizing that the moon's rhythms can influence everything from mood to fertility. The moon also holds a special place in many indigenous cultures, where it is revered as a symbol of womanhood and feminine strength. Native American traditions, for example, often feature the moon as a powerful guardian of women's health and fertility. Stories and rituals related to the moon celebrate its role in guiding women through the stages of life, from menstruation to menopause, and acknowledge its influence on the natural world. In modern times, the moon's symbolism continues to resonate deeply with women around the world. The lunar cycle is frequently used as a metaphor for personal growth and transformation. Women's circles and gatherings often revolve around the moon's phases, providing a space for reflection, empowerment, and connection. These gatherings embrace the moon's influence, celebrating its role in guiding women through their own cycles of change and renewal. The moon's connection to emotions is also a significant aspect of its influence on women. Its phases are seen as a mirror of the emotional highs and lows that women experience. The full moon, with its bright and expansive energy, is often associated with heightened emotions and clarity, while the new moon represents a time of introspection and release. By tuning into the moon's cycles, many women find a sense of rhythm and balance that helps them navigate their emotional landscapes. Across different cultures and traditions, the moon is revered as a symbol of womanhood and feminine power. It represents the cyclical nature of life and the deep, often mysterious, aspects of the feminine experience. The moon's influence on women's health, fertility, and emotions underscores its role as a guiding light, offering comfort and insight through the various stages of life. The moon's gentle, yet powerful, presence continues to inspire and uplift, reminding women of their connection to the natural world and the cycles that govern it. Whether through ancient rituals or modern practices, the moon's influence is a testament to its enduring significance in the lives of women everywhere. Its light, both illuminating and soothing, serves as a constant reminder of the beauty and strength inherent in the feminine experience. The moon's silvery glow has been a constant companion to humanity throughout history, casting its light upon countless stories and legends that echo through time. From ancient temples to modern spiritual practices, the moon goddesses have held a sacred place in the hearts and minds of people across the world. Reflecting on the moon's enduring role in mythology and culture reveals a tapestry woven with threads of mystery, power, and reverence. Each lunar goddess, from the formidable Nyx of Greek mythology to the nurturing Chang'e of Chinese lore, represents facets of the moon's multifaceted nature. They embody not just the physical presence of the moon, but also its profound impact on human life, emotion, and spirituality. Their stories are not just tales of old, they are vibrant echoes that continue to inspire and resonate today. In every corner of the globe, the moon goddesses have found their place in modern spiritual practices, demonstrating their timeless relevance. Rituals held under the light of the moon connect us to an ancient wisdom that transcends time and space. As people gather to celebrate the full moon's brightness or seek solace in the quiet of the new moon, they are partaking in a tradition that links them to their ancestors and the natural world. These practices reflect a universal recognition of the moon's influence, a testament to its enduring presence in our lives. The stories of moon goddesses serve as a bridge to ancient wisdom, providing a way to understand the rhythms of nature and our place within it. Each tale carries with it a lesson about life, the cycles of nature, and the deep connection between the celestial and the earthly. Through these stories, we learn about balance, transformation, and the delicate dance between light and darkness. They remind us of our own inner strength and the natural cycles that govern our existence. The reverence for lunar deities is more than a cultural artifact. It is a living tradition that continues to shape our spiritual practices. The moon's phases, its ability to inspire both awe and introspection, reflect the complexities of the human experience. As we honor the moon goddesses, we also acknowledge our connection to the cosmos and the ancient wisdom that guides us. The stories and symbols of moon goddesses are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. They remind us of the cycles of life, the power of transformation, and the beauty found in both the light and the dark. Each lunar deity carries with them a legacy of mystery and power, linking us to a past that is both distant and intimately close. Their presence in our rituals, our art, and our lives speaks to an enduring bond with the natural world and the celestial forces that shape it. As we look to the moon and its goddesses, we are reminded of our own place within the grand tapestry of existence. The moon, in all its phases, offers a mirror to our own lives, reflecting our struggles, our triumphs, and our journey through time. Through the stories of moon goddesses, we connect with a heritage that spans centuries, finding in their tales a source of comfort, inspiration, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.